from Affirmations for Self-Healing by Swami Kriyanandaji on enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the spirit of joy, channeled through the power of the will. If we want to know joy, we must live always in the full expectation of it. Not even earthly happiness can come to those who demand it glumly or who work for it with their eyes to the ground. To achieve happiness, one must work with happiness. To achieve divine joy, one must be keenly enthusiastic in everything one does. Never presume, never brush aside that subtle feeling of doubt which attends false emotional enthusiasm. Try always to let God's joy express itself through you. Thus, your enthusiasm will grow, eventually to become His joy. Please affirm with me. In everything I do, my enthusiasm soars to embrace infinity. In everything I do, my enthusiasm soars to embrace infinity. In everything I do, my enthusiasm soars to embrace infinity. In everything I do, my enthusiasm soars to embrace infinity. In everything I do, my enthusiasm soars to embrace infinity. Mentally, in everything I do, my enthusiasm soars to embrace infinity. Pray silently with me now. O perfect bliss, guide me that I express Thee through my every feeling. May my enthusiasm be a channel for Thy joy. Om Shanti Shanti. I'd like to play now an excerpt from a talk by Swami Kriyanandaji. This will make a little noise before we get the speaker set up.
The more I listened to Master, the more I found that it wasn't just clear definitions. He was bringing a whole new wave of consciousness. That man was incredible. He had the power to change the world. But that change can't be by one person talking on a mountaintop. It's got to come through other people who see this truth, who tune into it and say, not me, not he, not anything, but this, the need for this is so great. And these are answers to it. And the logic that he put in such simple terms that it took me a while to relate to it. I'd see, but yes, it makes absolute sense. It addressed all the things that I'd grown up with, puzzled over, wondered over, just with simple common sense. This is what we want to bring to people, and more people. I'm so glad that we're on the internet now. Dave Warner tells me that in August we got 79,000 visits. That's incredible. Companies, he says, that try to solicit our trade boast if they have 2,000 visits a month. We got 79,000, well over 1 million hits. Mind you, I'm talking through my hat. I don't know what these... I don't even know what these things mean. But when people say, wow, I say, wow. I think that what people say in answer to us is, we're so happy you're open. We're so happy you're direct. We're so happy to feel that you're straight with us. You're not hiding anything. You're just telling it the way you see it. Now that message can't help but touch people. It will. And if I, in my life, have any significance at all, basically it's trying to bring His vibration, which again was God's vibration. This is the ray that God chose to use. Master one time was talking to Sri Yukteswar. He said, I was comparing our work with another. I imagine he meant Ramakrishna because it was right there in that same area, but he didn't say so. Anyway, Sri Yukteswar's answer was, why do you make comparisons? This is the way God is playing through you and me. God is playing in a particular way in this ray. And there are many other rays, there are many valid ways. But this is his way, and he's drawn us to this. Somebody told me, and I won't quote because I haven't been given that permission, but when she read the autobiography and heard about Ananda, she looked in the mirror and saw Master's face. Master has drawn each one of you. It isn't me. It isn't your desire. It's much more than that. When I was in New York and I was doubting whether I wanted to buy the autobiography because it was money and I was so tired of reading and I wanted to save money so I could go to South America and be a hermit, it was a real power that I felt turning me left from 7th Avenue to walk over to 5th Avenue and buy that book. Something has pushed us here. Something is pushing us forward. Be grateful for that. But the more you think of him and think, what can I do for you? And what do you want me to do? Because if he doesn't want to do it, then don't say, I want to do it. There's so many ways you can serve. So many ways that aren't obviously important. You don't need to be applauded. Let God do the applauding. He'll do it the way you like. And the other is empty. But when you feel his satisfaction in your heart, well, that's discipleship. When you feel his satisfaction in your heart, that is when you fulfill what it says in the Bible. As many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Our job is to become the sons of God. Everything else will pass away. But finally, all that matters is our relationship with the infinite. If I can do anything for you, I myself, when I listen to this music, I feel like crying. I'm so grateful. It's so beautiful. It's not mine. There's so many things we have to be grateful for. But basically what I'm grateful for is God's love. And that love which I feel from all of you and which I feel in you. And anything that I can do to help you to find that, that is my fulfillment more than anything else. Thank you all for making this day sacred and beautiful.
As we close, I'll read just a couple of passages from Conversations with Yogananda. Bernard asked the Master, what is the best way to transform emotion into devotion? The company you keep, the Master replied, will determine in what direction your feelings develop. In the company of devotees, those feelings will more easily become devotional. Master, pursued the disciple, what if I'm alone? For instance, when I meditate, am I not always with you? The Master replied with a loving smile. Finally, in this way, the Master said, one can develop intuition. After meditation, sit still for a long time, enjoying the inner peace. As you don't cook your food and then run off without eating it, but rather sit down and enjoy it. So also the meditation techniques help to prepare the mind, but after them, sit quietly, enjoying the meal you've prepared. Many people meditate till they feel a touch of peace, but jump up then and leave their meditation for their activities. That's all right if you have important work waiting for you, for it is always better to meditate before any activity, that you may feel at least some peace as you work. Whenever possible, however, sit for a long time. after you practice the techniques, that is when the deepest enjoyment comes. Intuition is developed by continuously deepening that enjoyment, and later on by holding on to its calm after effect. I'd like to address this topic a bit, and then we have a song and we can ask questions. But this is an important question and topic. How do I keep going on the path I've gotten on? There are many distractions there, more than we can handle, really. I see people coming, going. Even at Mount Washington with Master, Swamiji said it was like a hotel. People checked in, people checked out. It was, how can we last the whole lifetime with our practices? And I remember someone asked me once about discipline. I'm a disciplined person, but that's not the first thing that comes to mind. And I said, discipline is okay, but more love is what gets you meditating more. A deep experience of God. Isn't it so? I remember a child, a fellow was in Gurgaon. I was at their house, and his child, maybe I told you this, but I was having dinner with the parents, and the child kept coming in, and Papa, I want this, and then I want this, and I want that. And finally, it was so sweet. The father, after the third time, the father just grabbed him and hugged him for a long time. And the boy never came back. And it's true. Once you feel that presence, you want to do it. So rather do things that create the devotion, create love, create the desire, the interest, the longing. Chanting like we did this evening and reading books. I mean, this is so inspiring. Coming to satsang. Where do you find this kind of vibration? At the mall? No. At work? No. At home? Doubtful. But Master has provided places we can come, and we can be together. And who are we together with? Yes, we come to be with each other, but we really are with them. Babaji, Larry Mashaiji, all the masters. And you come in this temple and you're uplifted. Even in 5 minutes, even in a minute, you just feel uplifted. And so just to be in the presence, come. This is your home to participate in things. I've been here, I don't know how many hours over the past 2 days, but it's so blissful. So don't go at it with I have to, I must, I made a promise, I took a vow. Come the other way and develop, as Master told Swamiji, when he first came, he was a young man, very intellectual. Master said, you'll have a very long, dry path unless you open your heart and develop love for God. So Swamiji bought a harmonium, he started chanting, and he was the most balanced person I've ever met. Brilliant mind and big open heart as well. And so come at it. I was just thinking, what can I share with you? And at the beginning of my spiritual journey, I wasn't meditating that well. I wasn't energizing that well. I wasn't doing anything that well. I remember I kept saying, I was going to the meditation group in Palo Alto, and I said, I can chant. I learned how to chant. And they said, okay, why don't you do the chanting? Chanting was terrible. They said, don't do the chanting. I said, I can bake. I'll bring the cookies. I bake the cookies. I said, okay, bring cookies next time. They said, no, don't bring any more cookies. And every time it was, but I grew. I just kept, it's like a seed. You plant it in the earth. You don't go every day, are you growing, grow. You just keep at it, keep watering, the sun's there, air, and you see a little sprout. And you just keep watering that sprout. And we were saying earlier in another class, and for meditation, I mean, it's essential to meditate every day. I mean, we should be doing that. I mean, think about people who don't have any of the practices that we have. It's sad. It's hard out there. You lose a loved one, your health goes bad, your finances go bad, you lose your house, whatever. You have a wreck. There's so many things that could happen. We have tools to keep us centered. We have our Master's grace. We have all of these gurus protecting us, helping us, loving us, guiding us, protecting us. And we have so much. We have places like this. We have the books. We have the music. It goes on and on. Master said, it will be hard, but you come with me. I will provide what you need, and you can be with one of my direct disciples, Swamiji, and will protect you. You have the karma, you have to go, but we'll protect you. And so it's a blessed life. So what would I say? Just keep going. And people say, I've been meditating 2 years, nothing happened. 2 years. That's just not a lot of time. 10 years isn't a lot of time. Just really be a long distance runner. And, start getting the decades under you. And you see that, what do I feel now after being completely confused in the beginning and low energy and not energizing well and not understanding the books? And I just kept going. And what I can say was all along, if I understood it, if I did it well, if I didn't do it well, I always saw there was something there that I didn't have before I came on the path, and that was joy. It was even Master said, even if there's a little bubble of joy, blow on it, expand it, just whatever. Instead of saying, I can't, why didn't I do this? Just whatever you have, just be grateful and let it grow. Be with people who are strong on the path. Don't be with negative people. As much as there's a lot of negative people I hear, they go on and on. Look at their life, it's not happy. You can look at the face. Look at a yogi's face. It's bright, the eyes are bright, the spine is straight. I was looking just today, I just saw people we were taking a walk in. Nobody's happy. They might be happy for, okay, I got the job, then I don't like the job. Oh, my kid's in university. Oh, they're having a hard time. It's just like a child, up and down, up and down. But if you do Kriya, you neutralize the waves of up and down and the feeling, and you go deep. As you start going deep, then you get the discipline to meditate, as you want to. We were saying earlier, I didn't really get to this point, but I think the hardest part to get your meditation solid is getting to the seat. It's all in the mind. If you just, the room is there, the pillow is there, and you just can't get in the room. But if you just say, no, I'm just going to walk in there. Even if you say, I'm not meditating, I'm just walking in the room. And then walk in there, you're probably going to sit down. It's true. And if you're all the way going almost asleep, on your bed, and just say, I'm not going to meditate, I have this thought in my mind, instead of get up, sit up. Just sit up. Sit up and just start. And if you start, honestly, it's just not a big deal. It's all in the mind. I'm tired, I can't do it, I don't feel like it. But once you get going, you're going to coast down the way. So don't give up. Don't be negative. And come to the meditations, the Kriya Bond retreats coming up. You need help. Before I came to Ananda, I had Kriya, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was barely doing it. I was barely energizing. Hong Sa was more like Hong snore, as they say, and Om technique wasn't working. And I got with Swamiji. Master sent me, and boy, he was on you. Do you understand this? Let's do this. Let's have a review. Let's do a checking. That's what we're going to be doing here in 2 weeks at the Kriya Bond retreat. And my Kriya took off because I was in good company. I was in high company. I was in high consciousness company. Not just Swamiji, but Jayaji, Jyotish, Deviji, all the first wave people. We meditate together. We'd serve together, come to satsang together. You've got to jump in, start swimming. You can't have your little boat on the side, and I like to tell people there's a lot of sharks down there, If you can get in with everybody else, There's a big wave that just pushes you. You've got to know that. Satsang is vital. Master told two people, Mr. Black and Rajasi, to come all the time to visit with him at Mount Washington. And Master said one came all the time, one never came. And he said he's bogging down because he never comes. People think they can do it. I can do it. All you need is one health challenge. You see, you can't do it. That's when everybody comes back, help. But why wait till then? Get strong enough. Get strong in yourself. Chant, meditate, come here, come to the Kriyaban retreats. Service is vital. I hope everybody here has a way to serve the center. I mean, look at this place. Who does it all? I hope it's not 4 or 5 people. It should be everybody here plus everybody else. Everybody who ever comes here should contribute something. The lights, the altar, the pictures, the flowers, just say, Master, when Swamiji went to Master, he said to him, I didn't come for what I can get. His first day with Master, first meeting, but what I can give you. And that's the spirit of the disciple. What can I give you? And look at Jyotishji's paintings. You'll see them downstairs. I mean, he said it. There's one in the back. He does it as a seva, to share with other people. We have a choir here. They're singing as a seva. We have kirtans here. That's a seva. We have various programs and classes and all. We have publications. This is a seva. I would get some of these books and give them to your friends. Give them to your relatives. Give it to your mom. Give it to your dad. But something that they can understand. You don't want to start with Autobiography of a Yogi, likely, but some of these other books, affirmations. We have a whole bookstore downstairs. Do you ever, people give out a shawl or whatever. Give something spiritual. Give a teaching. Share the Guru's vibrations with people at your job. And when I came here, I was on a flight next to a businessman sitting next to me, and by the end of the flight, he could see my notes because I was studying for classes. I had my phone, and he kept looking over. So finally, he says, "Are you going to an ashram?" And he said, "Are you with Osho, or who are you with?" I said, "No, I'm with Paramahansa Yogananda." And he said, "Oh," I said, "You do know who he is, or who he was?" He says, I said, "Listen, you're Indian. I'm American. You ought to know who he is." I mean, he was one of the greatest masters that came out of India. He said, I said, "Get his book, Autobiography of a Yogi. You should know this man." He said, "Oh, okay." And but even that man, we had a nice conversation. And by the end of that conversation, even you get out of India, even he said, because I said, just start with something. Get online, Ananda Pune, come here. Just get a book, just start. I didn't have a book to give him, but he said, "Yes, I'm going to do something." He said, but at once you get going, it's fine. But he said, "Really, this is what I love about India." He said, "Ultimately, you need a guru." I said, "Yeah, you're right. You need a guru." And you'd never hear that in America. I just loved hearing that. You need a guru. And so share with other people. This could be a seva. My dentist keeps like stacks of books in the office, and she says when I feel somebody needs it, I gift it to them. So that satsang, and then sadhana's just got to be solid. Come here and meditate with the others. You can't go on alone with meditation. Most people aren't meditating that well. Falling asleep, don't know the techniques. I'm surprised. And so really try to work. Come to the Kriyaban retreat if you're Kriyaban, and come to the classes if you're still in the classes, and just work at it. The world isn't getting much easier. It's not going to get more. It's going to get heavy. Master said it. And so take your time and get your spiritual life solid. Be with positive people. Be with devotees. Be with the masters. Take the book in the car with you. Read something. Put a travel altar in your car. Chant Om Guru as you're going to work, or in the bus, or in the metro, or whatever. Take a picture of Guruji with you, or Babaji, and feel that that's your protection. You see what I'm saying? Chant mentally. You can just chant mentally and change the music on your phone. Get Swamiji's music, get the chants. You can get on the phone, and then it's always with you. You go for a walk, or you're in the metro, or you know, you understand what I'm saying? You've got to protect yourself. And we have enough to protect. We have the music, we have the chanting, we have satsangs, we have yoga classes, we have online, we have home study. It just goes on and on and on. And so don't hold back. You know, it's the lifetime is not that long. That's what I'm realizing. You know, I think of my life, and I think whatever amount of years I have, I was telling them in America, I just came from America, and I said, I don't want to go anywhere but India. I want to serve my guru till my last day. And people say, do you want to go to Singapore? No. You want to South Africa? No. I don't want to go anywhere but where masters put me in India, and I want to serve him to the last day. And I think for all of us, just think in your heart, Master, I want to do your practices to the last day. I want to serve you. I want to go to the satsang, to the final day comes. And then Master said he would meet you, or one of the disciples, one of the gurus would meet you when you leave this earth. And I know someone, I'll close with this, someone who was close to me who left his body. This was way back, maybe, I don't know, 30 years back. And there was cancer. And for a long time, not a long time, but he was in the hospital for some, I don't know, a few weeks. And near the end, he was in a coma. He was at Kriyaban, disciple Kriyaban. He was in a coma. And would come out of the coma, go back in, out, come back in, go back in. And I would sit there and just, I mean, this is what we do for each other. I just kept reading from Autobiography of Yogi. I just kept reading, you know, so he could get that vibration in his consciousness as he was leaving this earth. So at one point, his eyes opened and he went, oh, now I'm not dying. And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, now I had Autobiography, not this picture, but I had Autobiography, and he pointed, he said, oh, I saw him. He came. He was happy. From then on, he was happy. I'm gone. I saw him. It was so wonderful. Think about it. Master promised it. Me, he said, me or one of the gurus will come and meet you and usher you into the higher realms. Those who stay with the path, it's not easy to stay with the path. But what choice do we have? Master said, you might think this is hard, go out there. One man left, and Master said, it'll take you 200 incarnations to come back to this point if you leave. And he left. Master wept. And the man just went through so many difficulties. So just be grateful. We've been given a blessed life. And with all the masters, Swamiji, center, everything we have, I just feel in my heart, I'm just grateful. Master saved me, saved my life. He saved your life. Where would you be? What would you be doing? Think, what if Swamiji had never come to India? What if he never wrote any book? No piece of music? What if Master had never gone to America? What if he never had disciples to come back to India? I mean, just think, what if? But we have a very blessed life because it all did happen. And we have the chance of just saying, okay, I understand. Now I'm going for God. God alone. God alone. God bless you. Now see if there are any questions. Bhavani, I know you have a few stored up. We'll start with those.
So, Dhyana, often when we face a test, we tend to go weak on our spiritual life.
I'll repeat the question.
So, what can we do at that time not to,
Cave in.
raise our energy and to, be able to face our test?
Yeah, she's asking that when you face a test, how can you still stay strong? There's so many reasons to cave in and, just be discouraged. And everybody goes through that. who hasn't faced tests? I certainly have had my share. But I found that through the practices, I got out of it faster. I just got out of it faster. And not just the practices, through the grace of the gurus, through praying to Babaji, praying to Master, praying to Swamiji, asking them to walk me through the fire, then I was able to go faster. If there's an ailment, an illness, if you really do the practices and ask for God's grace, perhaps you can get out of it faster. Understand? So I've seen it lots of times. So you have to, self-effort plus God's grace. Where does being down and negative and disillusion, where does it take you? Further down, you know? So, and Swamiji said something, I just have to say it to you. I was really surprised at this, but I understand it. He said to people, I've heard him say this a couple of times, and it's in some of his writings, that Divine Mother and Master, they won't allow you to stay if you turn negative. They won't allow you to stay on the path. Wow. That means you've shut the door on them. You've gone into a forest. Remember that boy, Jan, or I think his name was, maybe it was another guy, but he got his finger cut off. And he was either a disciple or son of a disciple or someone. And Master said there was a dark cloud around you. That's why it happened. You don't want a dark cloud. They're energized, do yoga, anyway. Get rid of the negativity and ask the masters to protect you. So rather than going down, go up and get something, read something, listen to the music, come into the center. Is there any seva I can do? You understand? You have to work at it. You have to fight for it. It's not going to come easy, but it does come. If you really want to help yourself, you can. Master had one disciple, he called him his baby, because the Master was babying him. And in public, he said, "This is my baby." He just called his name, and he said, "You don't mind me calling?" "No, Master, I don't mind." That's not the spirit. And so you don't want to be babied on the path. You have karma. It's yours. It's not theirs. They're helping you. Everyone thinks that their problems are worse than everybody else's, but typically not. Okay, anybody else with a question?
So, excuses
Oh my God.
are the biggest delusions. What can we do to get out of excuses and discipline ourselves?
I would say the more you do the practices, the less you'll try to get into excuses, because your consciousness is elevated. If your consciousness is low, then you look at the problems. If your consciousness is high, you look at the solutions. Isn't it so? And be around positive, energetic, enthusiastic people. If you're in a culture of people who are just dynamic and they don't take, remember Swamiji said, Master passed by me, he said, "Well, how are you, Walter?" "Well," Master said, "Boom, that's good." He didn't want to hear it. So if you're with somebody, I like to joke about this, but you call somebody a so-called friend, "Oh, I'm having a hard time." "Me too," isn't it? You call a guru by, "Oh, I'm having a hard time. Hey, I'm going to send you something. I just saw something in the book. I'll send you a talk by Swamiji. I'll come over. Let's take a walk. Let's go to the kirtan. Let's go to the center and serve. I'll send you a photograph." Isn't it true? The guru by tries to help you out of it. And so you want to be with people who are going to uplift you, not people, "No, I feel bad. Let's both go feel bad together." I'm feeling bad and you're feeling bad, no? And another thing is, here I was saying earlier, Swamiji when we got so stressed and worried and whatever, he used humor. He would read a P.G. Wodehouse, the humorist. He would read one of those stories to us. And the best part was him laughing, and you heard him laughing. You all were there at different times, and it would just break you right out of whatever the thing was. I'm so worried about this, and you just start laughing about it. And he brought in an element that you don't see everywhere. Joy. Joy. We're not, and look at people's faces now, oh yeah, I'm on the path, I do Kriya, I never eat, and that's not our way. Ananda means joy. So look at your face in the mirror sometimes, Try to have a joyful face. Like she's smiling, it's just a beautiful face, and instead of not looking so nice. And maybe chant those joyful chants. From joy I came, joy I live. I mean, there are a variety of things, and be with happy people. I don't like to be with negative people. It's not healthy. Be with people who are up, and be up yourself. When you go meet somebody, hey, how are you doing? Say, my God, I can't tell you what happened today. Oh, Lord. Who wants to be around that? The Swamiji said one monk would come to his room, sit on the bed, boing, and just complain. When he went out, Swamiji said he had to get incense and just get that vibration out of the room. Don't hang around that. That's another force. It's just waiting for somebody who's negative to just open, come right in. So you don't want that. Just fight against it. I maybe said this last time, but recently I was sleeping at my place in Delhi, and I felt I have never felt this before or after, but I felt a very strong, dark force in the room. And I had a picture of Master nearby. I just got that picture. I held it under my pillow, and I began praying to Master. And then, after a while, I just fell back to sleep. But it was a definite force in that room. I live alone, but I just knew Master was going to protect me. The next, when the morning came, it was still there. I was protected, but that vibration was still in that house. And what did I do? I went in my temple. I did 108 kriyas, and pop, it was gone. He couldn't stand it. There was so much power in that. Get out! It just fled. So you can't just get out. Move. Leave me alone. You can punch it. You have to be strong on the path, and things will come. Swami just told stories like that when he had to shout for things to get out. So don't be wimpy if you know that word means. Just, everything's happening and it's just you're falling apart. Every time anything happens, get the spine. The more you do Kriya, the more you serve, the more you chant, you're just getting very strong. I can say from the beginning, I didn't know what was happening. Now I do, and I feel that strength of the gurus with me. And if anything, I travel by myself. I live by myself. I go out alone a lot of times, but I never feel afraid. No one wants to approach me. That would be the last approach they have. Honestly, they just don't. With these gurus behind you, no one wants to approach you. I'm not just saying me, I'm saying you. So be assured that they're with you. And Master had such power. You've heard the various stories. I don't have time to go into them because it's already 6 minutes or whatever before the time is supposed to be over. So are there any more questions? Anybody? Please.
So you said that when someone is negative,
Yes.
they shut the door. How does that person come back? How do they open the door?
Sometimes they don't come back. That's the point. Do you remember that lady who, she said, she was a disciple, she said to others, I think Swamiji knew of her, that she had found another guru. And she just cast aside Master during his lifetime, cast aside him and the path, and she went to somebody else. And Master just said, all right. What's he going to say? She shut the door herself. So she went. She came back, Swamiji said, after a year. He said the light was gone.
So we can't help this.
The ray was gone. We have to understand there's an actual ray from the gurus that's coming into you, from God, that's there. You see it in Kriya bonds. You see it in people. So you see it. I can see it in you all. But how can you help them? I say pray for them. Just pray for them. But another thing, these things are subtle, you know. Another thing, you have to be careful, because if you start going, okay, I'll come help you, I'll come, you could be pulled down yourself. I remember someone, I can't go into the whole story, but she was a very good friend here in India. I loved her so much. And she ended up going up to a Himalaya. After Kriyaban disciple and being with us, she went up to the Himalayas to another guru, and then she tried to get me, not just me, but Swamiji to go to the other guru. And I just thought this was outrageous. And, you know, she kept writing, this other guru is better, and honestly. So I asked Swamiji, I was brokenhearted. I said, should I call her or try to help her, or what should I do? And should I write her? And his words I'll never forget. He said, no, never. I prayed for her, but I think he could see, my whole life was jeopardized. You understand? So, you know, if you don't know how to swim and you're jumping and somebody's drowning, you're going to drown as well. So I think back on that, I said, he saved me. You know, it was a sentiment. I really liked this. She was very magnetic, you know, and she ended up in the psych ward. She left her child and her husband. I mean, I would have been continuously trying to help her. You see, but Swamiji, cut it. And cut it now. Was that painful? Yes. But now I look back and I'm just so grateful. So best pray for people, but we can't work out other people's karma, really. We can do something, but we just can't, they choose. And I'm telling you, there's so much advice Swamiji gave that people they would go in, they'd say, Swamiji's, okay, I feel this and that. They do exactly the opposite. Many times Jyotishan Deviji said, and they were sitting there with him, counseling people. Oh, he agreed with me. So what are you going to do? I mean, be with people who you can get strength from. And only after a while can you try to help other people. I mean, you can share in little ways, but when you're really counseling somebody or whatever, you just got to be careful. I just say to people, I'll pray for you. It's a good question, though. Yeah. Anything else?
Then if you can share about.
Well, he had it. Hold on.
How we should react to someone's repeatedly mistakes repeatedly, how one should react to
They have.
Repeated mistakes.
repeated mistakes if someone is doing, how one should react to that person.
I would bring it back to, what do I do with my repeated mistakes? Okay, I just keep trying to do better. I would definitely pray for them. I wouldn't get in their way, you know, let them keep repeating the mistake on you. You know, I remember someone who was trying to get help with Ananda, and I tried my best, but the person just was insincere. And at a certain point, I felt Master saying, cut it. He's not sincere. So I had to just slowly pull out, you know? So you don't, if you can, slowly pull out, but don't stick around out of some misguided loyalty. No? And if it's a repeated thing, they have to work on that. Can you help them get rid of that? Probably not. You have to look at that. Can I really help them? God can do anything, but how much are you going to be able to do? Yeah, and be with strong people. Don't immediately be with everybody's weak and I'm the strongest. I always found people who were much stronger than me. No? This kind of satsang is where you want to be. Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
I think I can ask a question on behalf of Guruvites who are working.
Hmm.
So how can they find balance between work life and the spiritual life?
I think the thing is that there's two ways of looking at that. That it's really one life. That's the main thing. It's, people say I do this and I meditate, then I go to my job. And if the more you can bring that together as a whole, I'm serving wherever I am. I'm looking at Mansi, and I'm sure she doesn't think, no, it's not. She's going with the thought of serving God and the people that she sees. So that's one way of looking at it. The other is people have children, they have responsibilities, they have the job. I think the best answer is meditate. If you don't meditate, you don't stand a chance. You've got 5 kids there. You've got your in-laws, you've got this going on, you've got a job. You can forget it. But at least if you keep your meditation going, you can handle things better. Play the music in your house when the kids are driving you crazy. Play Swamiji's music in the car. You've just got to have a toolbox. You've got to have some books there. The kids are going crazy. You just open, yes, I understand, You got to have things. You have a picture of Master. Put a little altar in the kids' room. Put up, I think I told you my story, so I won't tell again. But anyway, put pictures around. Chant in your house. Bless the house. I mean, in India, people bless their homes. So, and let's face it, you're a blessing to be in your home. So if you can't get your work done, I mean, people usually get their work done. What I find is they don't get the meditation in. And I would say in the evening, be sure to meditate. Just do this. Just go and look at your seat. If you feel like I just don't want to go, just go in there and look. Just look at the meditation seat or your chair. And I bet you end up over there. I bet you end up there. If you just, like I like to walk every day. So I'm thinking about Delhi now, but you can't walk right now. Anyway, sometimes I feel I just don't want to go out there. If I just open the door, I'm there. Even if the door's closed, I don't go. But just open the door. Just, okay, go. So just go to your space, and you can do it. Do minimum 14 kriyas. Anybody can do that. That's only 7 minutes. Sit 3 minutes, you got a 10-minute meditation. The thing you have to do is promise yourself, promise Master that I'm going to do it. I don't care what. And you can figure it out. If you want to do it, I remember someone asked Brahmachari Devendra, they said, well, I don't have time to meditate. He says, do you eat every day? And he said, yeah, I eat every day. You have time to eat. So if you want to do it, you can do it. You can figure it out. But most people I tell you, the most important thing I really feel is company. Environment stronger than will. The more you can get in the company of strong spiritual people. When I came on the path, I didn't know anything, but I sat with Swami Kriyananda, and whatever he said, I just went, whoa. That man was so magnetic. He was just pouring out this energy. You come in here, this is just pouring. The masters are pouring out energy. They're taking care of your problems. They're taking care of your worries. They're fixing problems with the kids. We have no idea what all they're doing. And everybody says, nobody's helping me. Well, as I was saying, this one thing, I had this picture of Master, and I was going through problems. This was way back, and I said, why is everything so bad? It's just terrible. My life is terrible. And I was on the path, and I said, and my friend's life is terrible, and that other friend, that's terrible. What happened? And I could almost hear him saying, what station are you tuned to? And isn't it the truth? I mean, you go way over there. Nobody's helping me. Well, you went off. Have you meditated? Have you energized? Are you chanting? Have you reading the books? Have you come to the satsang? Have you come to the center? No. What do you expect then? It's not their fault. That's what I'm saying. It's your own fault. So if you say, no, I'm determined, no matter what, I'm going to create a space in my life for God. And it's everything. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. All these things, everything else will come better and better and better. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've lived it. It's just, you just have to get going. And just last thing I'll say is patience you need, and it's a long road. It's not a sprint. People say, I haven't had nothing happen. I've been meditating for 6 months. Well, go look at your face. Do you look different? Look at the people around you. Are you more likable? Look at your mind. Is it more clear? Look at your heart. Do you love God more? You know, it doesn't take much. So anyway, I think you get the point. If you want it, you go for it. And how are you going to want it? You got to come. You got to come, participate, call up, do seva, whatever it is, chant. This last thing I'll say, it's a formula. I love the formula. Master gave the formula. It's a wonderful formula. If you do this, you can get through. So let's do what he said and be strong in yourself. Okay, I think we're beyond the time. So shall we have the song now? The singers are still here, right? They didn't leave, did they? We'll have the singers, and then we'll have an arati and blessing, and we'll be done.
Home is a green hill, home is a wind, blowing betrayal far, far away. Home is the knowledge, heaven is near. Home's the end of the fray. Home is my heart's land, home's where I am. Nothing can dim the light of my soul. Home is forever, home is today. Home's the heart that is whole. Often I dream that life is a play, laughter forever and skies never gray. But when I'm silent, free from all cares, I discover my home's everywhere. Home is a green hill, home is a wind, blowing betrayal far, far away. Home is the knowledge, heaven is near. Home's the end of the fray.
Thank you.